This popular restaurant soup is way easier to make at home than you think. Using simple ingredients, this savory beef soup will be ready in minutes. So much goodness. Hey everyone, I'm Flo, Duty's behind the camera, and we're all about simple food, simple faith. With the price of eating out and takeout these days is so expensive. So here we are to show you another recipe that is easy on the wallet and will help you eat healthy and save money. You can find this recipe on my website, flolum.com. We're going to start off with half a pound of ground beef. I'm using, I think it's lean. It's just the one I buy at Costco. I'm going to add a tablespoon of soy sauce, just regular soy, and a tablespoon of Shaoxing wine. Shaoxing wine is just a rice wine. If you don't have Shaoxing, you can use regular rice wine or sherry or dry white wine. We've been known to use bourbon just to give it extra flavor. And if you don't have any of those things and you don't want to add alcohol at all, you can just use another tablespoon of soy sauce. I want to dig my fingers in there. All right, I'm giving up on the chopsticks. I want to get the marinade right into all the meat. So I put on a pair of nitrile gloves to do that. If you don't want to use beef, I mean, it's traditionally made with beef. This is Westlake beef soup, but you can use pork if you like, even chicken, use whatever you like to eat. Even fish. I think fish would be really yummy in there too. It's a simple soup that you can basically substitute any of the ingredients. Setting it aside to marinate while I prepare the remaining ingredients. I'm also going to prepare the cornstarch slurry ahead of time using about 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. Adding about 3 tablespoons of water. Remember, it has to be room temperature or cool water, otherwise the cornstarch will not dissolve. I'm just going to stir this up. And the slurry is used to thicken the soup because the whole idea of Westlake soup is that all of the ingredients are kind of suspended in this like thick broth, and the visual is supposed to look like Westlake in China. Okay, we're also using 2 eggs. Just gonna beat them. Just lightly beaten is good enough. And I'm using half a bunch of cilantro, just roughly chopped. And I know, a lot of people don't like cilantro. So you can use spinach or green onions or watercress. All those are really good options for the green part of the soup. All right, I am using 6 cups of chicken broth. And I just made better than bouillon broth. You can use a can of broth or Tetra packs of broth. And if you have homemade broth, it's even better. But, this is what I have on hand.
This is the epitome of easy.
You can't even imagine. Okay, turning this up on high, and we're gonna bring that to a boil. Guys, the longest part is waiting for the soup to boil. Maybe I should have started the soup before I chopped up all the other things or prepared the rest of the ingredients. So next time, marinate the beef, then get your chicken stock going, and then prepare the rest of your ingredients. Oh, it's boiling. Once the soup is boiling, bring it down to a simmer or a low boil, and we're gonna drop our meat in a little bit by little bit. We're dropping it in by bit because we don't necessarily want meatballs, we just want it to be you know what? I bet you if I just put it in there and stir, it'll work.
Uh-oh, this could end badly.
This could. Well, it's not going to cook all at once, right? Because this is a large piece of meat. So I'm going to stir and break up the meat as I go. Taking a wooden spoon, and we're going to break up the meat so that we're not getting huge chunks of meat. It doesn't take long. The meat's almost done. Okay, give your slurry a stir, and we're going to add that to the soup. And quickly stir that in so that it doesn't all get gelatinous in one spot. And turn up the heat a little bit so that it starts to simmer again. I want it a little bit thicker, so I'm going to add a little bit more slurry. So maybe another tablespoon's worth. A tablespoon of cornstarch mixed with a tablespoon of water. All right, I think that's better. Turning the heat back down to a low simmer. And we're going to drizzle in the egg. You know what, essentially guys, this is like another version of egg drop soup. So look at that, isn't that pretty? And last but not least, the cilantro. And you can turn off the heat at this point. Look at how gorgeous that looks. I wonder if Westlake really does look like the soup. Or if the soup looks like Westlake. The amount of salt you would add at this point depends on how salty your broth is. So I am gonna give it a try to see how much I need to add. It's very tasty, so not much at all. I'm gonna add about half a teaspoon salt. Add about a quarter teaspoon of ground white pepper. And 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. Give it a stir. All right, let's get some into a bowl for Dude. Are you all ready for?
Yup. The taste. Now, it's raining outside and it's time for soup. And time for soup that you can make at home in a jiffy, like real fast. And you can save money not having to go get takeout or eat at the restaurant. And the cats are hungry too, so let's get going. The beef is very tasty. The texture of the egg is fantastic. And really lovely colors with the cilantro. Guys, this soup hits the spot. So make it for your family. It's quick, and they're gonna love it.
Awesome, thank you. With minimal ingredients, you can make such a tasty meal at home. For more simple recipes just like this one, check out my website, FLO'Lum.com.